Alright, here we go everybody. The new event for the Mazda, what is it? The Mazda 787B. So let's see what we have. Take the 787B for a spin in this head-to-head. Yep, okay, so come in first. Head-to-head event. And I may actually have to use our luxuriously haired friend Eric for some of this, for one of these. I know there's three. I looked through them a minute ago. They're all head-to-head. So obviously, let me actually turn the assists off. Let me make sure this is good for you. You would think I would start doing this before I started recording, but I don't actually think about it. So let's see how it goes. Obviously both of these cars are just going to be stock. There's not going to be much going on here. Day one, as always, just sort of get used to the cars. One thing that I think would have been really cool to have done, since this is an old car, or older, I don't want to say it's too old, although I think this was the car that won in 1987, which, as crazy as that sounds, was 30 years ago. Really doesn't seem like 1987 was 30 years ago, but I guess it was. Anyway, I wish they would have brought back the track that they raced here in 1987, which eliminates that silly little chicane right there, and it eliminates the next one. And so you had the full Molson straightaway, which is, I don't know, something like 3 miles long. I'd have to look it up. I don't remember exactly how long it is offhand. Very, very long straightaway, though. That would be very interesting for top speed events or anything else. Would be interesting to see just how long you can keep some of these cars pretty much pegged out on the top speed, because the Venom almost hits top speed. It almost hits the listed top speed, which I think is about 290 miles an hour. It almost hits that on the Mulsanne straightaway before the first chicane. We were getting, I don't know, over 465 kph. I'd have to look at the car to see what the max speed is, but we were getting over 465. Ran a little hot through the corner. That's actually not good if I'm going to try to get this without using Eric. I'll have to see how far down this takes the service. I don't think you can run 3 laps with full service. I think 2 laps takes it down to the red, but I can't remember. It's been a long time since I ran 2 laps. Maybe they made the goal so that you can actually do the 3rd goal in the red. I know a lot of times they do that. And obviously, I'm pretty far ahead right here, and there's a lot of places that you can cut the corners here. So I may actually try that. So sort of slow it down here, let her catch up, and then we'll see how it goes. Oh, you know what? I just remembered, the second goal is actually not a head-to-head, it's an autocross. So actually we're good. One autocross. That's actually really miserable fame for a head-to-head event here. As you can see, I've already done the first 7 upgrades there. Watch some ads to get them down. They are... I'll look at it again in just a second here. See what this says. Okay, pick an event. I'm going to do the one during the day because I don't like to strain my eyes to do the ones at night. So looking at the upgrades again, I've got just about an hour to an hour and a half left on all those. So they'll be open by the time the second stage opens up for me, which is 2.5 hours from now. The engine upgrade was about 150,000, and then they sort of went down from there. Overall, probably 650,000 racing dollars to do the first 7 upgrades. I haven't looked to see if there's any race dollar upgrades after that. There probably are 2 or 3, maybe 4 if we're lucky, but that'll be a real bit of luck. Anyway, I didn't even see what time I have to beat. Oh well, let's just get on with it then. This is actually kind of a fun little car. Not difficult to drive. Seems to have a pretty good amount of grip too. See what it looks like from up here. Oh, would you look at that? The wing mirrors actually work. Okay, 47 seconds. Yeah, that's just sort of roll to the end on that. Certainly think you could beat that even if you needed to use high brake assists. You know, I may actually try that just for fun. You know, I think I will. On this next one. Maybe I better not. See, you hit 200 miles per hour, 322 kph, and win. So the winning is not going to be difficult unless Zoe is substantially faster than she was in the first event. And, you know, they basically expect you to be able to do these first handful of goals with no upgrades. So it shouldn't be that difficult. Yeah, we're going to be able to make that pretty easy. There we go. And, you know, I do actually think that's something that could be reached even if I had the high assists on, which would have slowed me down substantially more than I did slow down to get through the turn leading onto the straight, and then would have hit the brakes probably before I did, even though I ran it fairly conservative. Not not the best getting through the turn there, but I'm not being, you know, I'm obviously way out ahead, so I'm not trying to exactly run a time trial lap here, just sort of running it down. You know, I actually would have liked for Zoe to be a little more difficult here. You know, just for the purposes of just a challenge. You know, I really do like a challenge on the game, but you know, I guess it's okay. We'll probably get plenty of challenges in the next 8 days going through the series. I actually hit the 322 number right there going down this straightaway. You know, I don't know if you've noticed, but this sign right here that we just crossed under, they've changed the graphics on that sign with this update. I don't know why. I don't know if it's changed on the actual track and that's why they did it, or what the deal is, but it used to say Audi. I noticed that something was different about it pretty much the first day they released the update, because you know, I probably ran a race here that day. I run, you know, pretty much like anybody else that gets to a certain point in the game. You know, I have to run here just about every day. You know, even if it's just a head-to-head, there's a couple head-to-head races that pay very good. In terms of time spent running, they pay far better than a 10-lap race, but the 10-lap race pays better because you get to use the agent. So let's see, another, you know, again, pretty miserable head-to-head payment there. That's about probably 40% what I've seen some of them pay. Okay, so obviously we're putting it in for service, and it looks like about an hour for tomorrow. And like I said, about $650,000, 650,000 race dollars to do those upgrades. Stage 1 complete. A little bit of race dollars back, and 5 gold. Big reward there in the gold. I forget, I think this one pays like 110 gold, which I'm impressed you were able to hit that top speed, even though the 83, the straight had no chicanes. It also had no chicanes in 1987. But that's neither here nor there. Oh yes, you may just convince them to give us the 787B at the end of this, but of course you will. Tomorrow we're going to Japan, so that would be Suzuka. And here we are. Next stage opens for me in 2.5 hours. I'll try to get a video out then, and I'll see you along with the next stage. Have a good one.